There are times when I block out something, when I block out a character or a creature, or if for some reason I need to use ZRemesher, right, and things get just a little bit too dense. This example, I'm going to just delete the cage. So if this was the kind of density, right, no subdivision levels, perhaps I was using some alpha brushes or just some alphas to extract a shape, right? And if I went, I don't want to say too far, but if I went to a point where I think I get the shapes that I want, right? I feel like this is the design that is working for me. But the next stage to do is to clean things up, right? All those strokes, all those details from alpha. The way I would approach that is not to use the smooth brush, because well, here it doesn't really work, right? Because the density is just too much, and plus, even if density wasn't as high as here, it would be just too much time consuming, right? And again, this is supposed to be almost like a rough block out, right? It's the shapes, it's the silhouettes, it's the forms that I want to preserve, right? Not the small noise, not all this kind of detail, right? This is just the effect or result of kind of rough blocking things out. So what I do instead of using smooth brush is I use ZRemesher, and what this does, it strips all the unnecessary noise and leaves just the shapes that I'm happy with, right? Even though we're losing quite a bit by the looks of it, right? So here things are just a little more tighter, a little bit more precise, but at the same time there's just way too much noise, right? So here, for example, I'm only concerned about this shape right here, right? So all the strokes that I've done here was to create that shape, right? So that's just the way I work. I just kind of rapidly construct the shape with a whole bunch of strokes, right? So it's the shape that I want. So here, if I use ZRemesher, I get the exact same thing that I want, right? I get this shape. So obviously this is just too low poly, but once we start to subdivide, we clean things up, right? So we eliminate all the noise and we leave just the shapes that we want. And after that, I would come and perhaps with some better tools or more precise tools, right? I would just refine the shapes this way. So this is the one that I wanted, right? So instead of... If you enjoy this content or find it useful, please consider supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee via the link in the description. Instead of cleaning it here, right, I'm just using damn standard in this example, maybe a standard brush as well, and make shape this way. Obviously I can use and I will most likely use some clay brushes here as well, but because there are some subdivision levels now and the structure is well, the polygon count, I guess, the structure of the model is not so dense, I can easily smooth things out this way. So it's a kind of cool technique, right? It's almost like well, cleaning things up, right? Like cleaning the canvas and just leaving the primary things that we wanted to do in the first place, right? Cleaning those things up and then just refining it. It's not exactly extra work. It might look like it's just we've done a bunch of things here, right? Spent some time in here, and then we came with into ZRemesher and just eliminated a lot of the like 30%, right? Maybe sometimes even like more of the work that we've done. But it's not exactly that, because what we get in the end is the important stuff, right? It's the form, it's the secondary and the primary forms, which was the intention, which was the focus, which is why we make blockouts in the first place, right? We not make blockouts to make details. We want to capture something else first, right? So here I will just gradually step things up, right? And we'll continue to refine things. And yeah, this works for anything, for creatures, for characters. So in here, perhaps we just went too far, and I'm not saying that this is going too far. This is a 3D scan, right? It's a real person, but there just might be something about it, right? There might be just a bit too much noise. Again, if it was some kind of a blockout, if we started from whatever simplified version of this, and when we wanted to see what the kind of bulkier look would look like, right? So once we achieved all of that, again with ZRemesher, we just strip away all the unnecessary stuff, right? And then we subdivide, and then we get the forms that we wanted, right? And after that we can come in here and start refining them using slightly different tools, but still focusing on what is important.